everyone. So today we're going to talk about how to get rid of weeds naturally. So the first two solutions, the 5% vinegar and the 20% vinegar, were already pre-mixed. So we'll talk about the third solution right now and how to mix it. So what you want to do is you take your 30% vinegar, and what I generally do is I put in a half gallon of the vinegar, a half a cup of salt, and a tablespoon of the dish soap. So right now I'm putting in the 30% vinegar. I'm filling it up to about a half gallon within my sprayer. And I have a little label on the side which tells me once it gets to a half gallon. Then I take my salt, take about a half a cup of that, and pour it in. And I will say it's important to note that these aren't hard and fast rules. This is the solution that I've found that works the best, but obviously do a little trial and error, see what works the best for you. And then the dish soap goes in, which really works as what's called a surfactant, and it helps the solution stick to and adhere to the weeds. And then you shake it up, and you're ready to go. Okay, so next comes the application. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the 5% vinegar, pour it into a little spray bottle. You'll see why I poured it into a little spray bottle. It tends to not work quite as well as the other two, so I didn't want to put it into a larger bottle. But spray off the first area that I kind of sectioned out by the planks right here, so you can see the impact of each of these three options over the next couple of days. The next one is the 20% vinegar, which is a pre-mixed substance that I bought online. I put that into the middle section. Make sure I got good coverage with all three. And then the third is the mixture that I showed on the previous clip with the vinegar, the salt, and the dish soap. And I'll get my sprayer out and spray this, and then we'll come back and take a look. So here are the results an hour later. You can see with the 5% vinegar, not too much change, a little bit of discoloration in the grass and weeds, but looks largely the same. On the 20% vinegar, you can see some pretty good impact so far. You can see some yellowing of the grass and weeds and some drying out. And then similarly on the mixture, you can see pretty good discoloration and drying out of the weeds. So far 20%, 30% mixture looking pretty strong. So here we are one day later, and you can see pretty dramatic results for all three. You can see that the 5% vinegar may be a little bit different than the other two, but pretty strong. And just to compare it to the regular grass and weeds, you can see how discolored and brown and really dead the grass and weeds have become. So on the 5% vinegar, a little bit of green mixed in with it, but pretty good results just with the everyday 5% household vinegar. Moving over the 20%, did a very good job, killing most of the weeds and the grass that you see here. Little bit of green mixed in, but for the most part, pretty impressive results. And similarly with the mixture of the 30% salt and dish soap, you can see pretty strong results in terms of the grass browning, drying out, and dying. So on the 20% vinegar and 30% mixture, pretty similar as you can see here, not too much different between those two. So after 2 days, pretty dramatic results. Even with the 5% vinegar, you can see it mostly killed off a lot of the weeds and the grass that we tested it on. The 20% vinegar and by extension the 30% vinegar did very well, basically killed both of them off completely. You can see a little bit of the green grass behind them. So overall, I would say pretty dramatic results, especially when thinking about the 20% vinegar and the 30% mixture. Completely brown, dried up, and killed off most of the grass and the weeds after a day, but even after 2 days you can see pretty dramatic results.